Welcome, duelists. In this video, I will be going over the banned cards and how they tier out in relation to the traditional format in preparation for the traditional league number 2 on Friday, May 16th at Gambits Games and Anime at 5:45 p.m. Starting with Victory Dragon. This card wins the match and is clearly the best card of all time. In the heart of the cards tier, we have what I consider to be the big three of the traditional format: Pot of Greed, Max C, and Graceful Charity. These cards just offer immense card advantage at literal free cost, and therefore, if you just have these cards and slide them into an advanced deck, you're pretty much playing our format right there. The next cards still play very far above the rim and could just be slid into pretty much any advanced deck for fun, value, and profit. So Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, and the Forceful Sentry are three cards that rip cards from the opponent's hand. It allows you to play around a lot of different hand traps like Nibiru and still be able to combo going second as well. So if they're holding a hand trap like Droll or Nibiru or Ghost Ogre, anything like that, into their going first, like with their going first board, you can still activate this, rip it, and be able to play going second as well. Painful Choice just mills 5, any 5 cards you want, kind of. It reveals 5, any 5 in your deck, puts one into your hand that your opponent picks, and the rest go to the graveyard. So you're going to win the game off of that if you build your deck to win the game off of that. Soul Charge is a mass monster reborn at the cost of your battle phase and some life points. So it's just as much link material as you want. Very strong card, really OP. And Last Will is an emergency teleport for any 1500 attack or less monster, assuming you've sent a monster to the graveyard at some point from the field this turn. So it gets any 1 card starter monster in your deck. All these cards you can just slide into advanced decks and pretty much be playing the format already. The next tier is the best cards in the best decks, starting with Kashtira Arise Heart. I think this is the best monster of all time. It's a 1-card lock that also is a pop, and that is incredibly strong. And for that reason, it allows you to really just check a whole portion of the meta that relies on the graveyard and force them into having an answer. Appaloosa is the most generic, but with the same real strategy of just having a lot of negates, checking a lot of the game, and forcing them to have a 1-card answer to it. And often these days, you're not even committing much to be able to make a Link 4, so you can make a Link 4 and more things off of 1 card these days. So very free card, so many monster negates. Baron de Fleur is an Omni, that's a every turn pop. You have to be able to synchro is really the only issue with that. It's really easy to make a 10 in decks that can synchro, but not every deck can synchro, so it doesn't go in every single deck, but very strong card. Borreload Savage is a negate on an 8-star monster at the synchro monster, so you have to be able to synchro, but you have to have a link in your graveyard to enable the negate, so you have to link and synchro. It doesn't go in every deck, but a very strong generic negate. Abyss Dweller is a rank 4 that locks your opponent out of the graveyard. If you can make a rank 4, you probably play this card. Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, mills 5 and reborns itself. Ridiculous card. It's a synchro, so you have to be able to synchro. Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye allows you to get any level 1 fire, so you get to play it in any deck that wants a level 1 fire at the cost of playing some Witches and Wanteds in your deck, and that's super free because you draw a card off the Wanted. Fiendsmith's Lacrima is a Fiendsmith card, so you have to be playing the Fiendsmith engine. Any deck can play the Fiendsmith engine. It allows the Fiendsmith engine to go into Link 4s and rank 6s really easily, and a free burn. Incredible card. Trident is a rank 4, but in this deck, I believe you can just smack rank 4s on top of pretty much anything, so it's really easy to make. You just have to be playing the right cards, and it's a pop. Quick effect pop. Sprite Elf and Bahamut Shark. These cards, if you can make a rank 4 Bahamut Shark, you can Bahamut Shark, summon the Toad, make an Elf, and then I don't believe you can Elf back the Toad, but there's something there at least. Bahamut Shark Summon Toad is very strong, goes into any rank 4 deck. If you can make a overlay for a 2 into an Elf, you can pretty much always Elf back the 2 that's relevant, and then Elf back something else. Very generic for how ungeneric they seem to be. Sideboard staples are very generic cards that aren't always good going first or going second, so They're going into the deck in some percentage of your games. A Pointer of the Red Lotus rips a card, but it's a trap, so you don't always get to use it going second. You pretty much never get to use it going second. Cold Wave locks you and your opponents out of spell cards, I should say, and it is very strong in a deck that doesn't care that much about spells, although it doesn't go in super heavy, which is kind of strange because then it locks you out of your super heavies. But if you don't have very many spells in your deck, you slam this, you have to play at the beginning of the main phase, and your opponent is just locked out of spells. It's really OP. Giant Trunade bounces back all of the set cards on the field, which is a lot stronger because it doesn't play into Lord of the Heavenly Prison that, does things when things are destroyed. So it's probably better than Duster and Heavy Storm, assuming you can kill them, like make use of this and kill them. Heavy Storm is just Duster that wipes you too. It's just another copy of Duster, which is really good. Imperial Order was the last card off of Heart of the Cards. You pretty much always put this in your deck going into the tournament. It's going to be somewhere in the 40 main deck, 40 something main deck, or 15 sideboard cards because of Mystic Mine. If your opponent is main decking Mystic Mine and you don't have an answer, they're going to win. So often you just want to put this in your main deck because it negates all the spells on the field and is just the most generic answer to Mystic Mine. But if you don't think everyone's going to be playing Mystic Mine at the tournament, then you can side it. But you should probably have this card somewhere because you don't want to just lose to Mystic Mine. Red Reboot is a counter trap that you can play from hand that just stops a trap effect and then all the rest of their trap effects for the rest of the turn. So it kind of hoses trap decks and should probably be in the sideboard. What is this? Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression is a card that stops everyone from special summoning at the cost of everyone's life points. And, it's a really broken floodgate if you already have a board set up. Summon limit. Both players can only summon twice. Again, if you set up a board and then do this to them, they only get 2 summons to try and deal with it. Same idea with Vanity's Emptiness. Neither player can special, but it is more fragile because if they send something, it just dies. But all these things, very broken with an established board already. And then finally, Mystic Mine. This is the best floodgate of all time, in my opinion, because it doesn't care about who's ahead on the board. Well, I guess it, in a way, very much cares about who's ahead on the board because your opponent needs to have more monsters than you. But you can already be behind on board and still lock your opponent out of the game, which makes this card a lot better, in my opinion, than these other floodgates where you have to already be winning. Because if you're already winning, and then they have to catch up. But whereas this one is just, if they don't have an answer to Mystic Mine, like you've exhausted all their negates, you just slam it, you win the game. So that's why a lot of people play Imperial Order in the main deck. I'm considering playing Imperial Order in the main deck for that reason as well. Situational. Every card on the ban list is good, but a lot of them don't go in every deck because a lot of decks can't make use of, obviously, all these 80 cards or whatever. So the situational cards, Card of Safe Return is ridiculous. It draws a card every single time you reborn. So in certain decks where your main combo line reborns 2 or 3 times, you're just going +2, +3. It's like Pot of Greed, but sometimes it's +3 and it stays forever. So if you pass to your opponent and can reborn on their turn, you're still drawing. It's very strong. But if you don't reborn from your graveyard ever, you're not going to play this card. Snow, Fairy Tale Snow, reborns herself from the graveyard, and its interaction as a quick effect, you have to be able to dump her, but she's very strong. Mecha Phantom Beast Rorodon is part of a Hulk combo, makes a bunch of tokens, lets you synchro afterwards. Glow Up Bulb comes back from the graveyard. It can be hulked out. It's situational. It's a plant. Lavalval Chain is a rank 4 that dumps 1. You have to be able to make a rank 4, and you have to need a thing to dump that is relevant to your combo or to the game. So it doesn't go in every deck. Hulk, you need a tuner, and then you need something to do with the Hulk afterwards that is good. There's a lot of options, obviously, but it's more generic than a lot of these situational cards, but it's still situational. You can often just go into a tuner and link up into a 4, but that 4 needs to be something that you're already not going to be doing anyways with the combo that's going through the Hulk. Beatrice is a rank 6. Not every deck can make a rank 6, but she dumps, which is ridiculous. Curious also dumps. You have to be able to link specific materials. What is this? I believe this is Diablosis, this next card, which is a rank 7 that rips from the extra deck a couple times, which is really broken, but you have to be able to make a rank 7. Fishborg Blaster comes back from the graveyard as a tuner, I think, which is crazy in the water decks. Nightmare Goblin, link combo piece. Very situational for the specific combos. Grinder Golem, you have to build a combo, but it makes pretty much infinite tokens if you do the right way. Nightmare Griffin locks your opponent out, kind of. Not very well compared to some other locks, but it also goes into Fiendsmith combo, so there's that. Agito and Kelbeck, mill 5. That has to be relevant to you because it also mills your opponent, so you gotta look out for that. Nightmare Mermaid, same thing as Nightmare Goblin, combo piece for specific decks. Level Eater, a tuner that comes back multiple times, but you have to have monsters with high stars so it can come back a bunch of times. Situational. Link Cross makes tokens. Situational, because you have to go into a link, make the tokens, do something with the tokens because they can't be linked off. Metamorphosis, summons from the extra deck. Situational, you have to be able to use the card. Hard to use, honestly. Mirage of Nightmare is a card that draws you back up to 4 at the end of your turn. But then you're going to discard all these cards, I think is how it works, something like that. Basically, if your combo ends and it with like no cards in your hand, then you're going to draw back up to 4 and can hit hand traps. If your combo ends with like 3-4 cards in your hand anyways, then it doesn't really matter. You're going to maybe draw 1 card and then the downside's going to be really bad. Entis is a lock, specific lock. Artifact Scythe is a specific lock. What is this? Summoning Source. Summon Sorceress is a link 3 that summons from the deck and summons things to your opponent's field. So it's a really ridiculous combo piece that can open up a lot of things, but you have to link the same type of monster. So it's specific in that sense. Can't go in every deck. Galaxy Tomahawk is a rank 7 that summons as many tokens to your side of the field as possible. You have to be able to make a rank 7. You have to be able to do something with those tokens. You have to build your deck to use it. This is the Sneck, which can fusion summon. You have to put the fusion cards in your deck, which introduces extra bricks, but it can lock your opponent out really easily, which is really good. So you have to be able to make your deck to use that. Link Karibo is a link 1 that can reborn itself by sacrificing a level 1, which is a specific combo. But it goes into a lot of decks because a lot of decks play link 1s, and sometimes it just comes into play. Comes up, you know. Gofu is a... it's like a catch tier specials without having anything in play. You just special it and it makes 2 tokens. You have to be able to do something with that, but it's very, very free. All the rest of these cards in the specific tier are incredibly specific. So you see a bunch of dragons. If you're playing the dragon deck, then yeah, these cards are great. You see a bunch of things like Electromite. If you're playing pendulums, then it's incredibly specific. Like, you're going to play it if you play pendulums, but that is so specific. It's not like Snow that just goes in any deck that can dump it, or Link Cross that can just like generically make some tokens in your combo if you want it to. It's like you have to be playing a specific deck, not just a situational combo that can be played in many decks. You'll see a lot of cards like this in this tier. There's like different locks that are incredibly specific. Kaiser Coliseum, Jaugen. Like, you have to be playing the deck for this, or specific cards for specific decks like Ronin Toden or Super Heavy Samurai, Scarecrow. You know, these go into very specific decks. They're very good in these decks, but you can really only play them in 1, maybe 2 decks. And then finally in the butt tier, this is just all the cards that shouldn't even be banned in my opinion, or only banned because they make tournaments terrible. So Butterfly Dagger Elma is an FTK that's just like ridiculously bad. Fiber Jar, it's just going to make tournaments go really long if you activate a bunch of Fiber Jars or whatever this card is. Like, yeah, that sucks, but nobody's ever going to do it, and they'll probably lose really quickly if they try. Premature Burial just is a Monster Reborn, and Monster Reborn's not even that good. Return from the Different Dimension is a summon 5 from the Banish. It would be really good in quote-unquote really good in Malice, but it's a trap card, so it doesn't even combo for Malice on the first turn. They have to wait and do it on your turn, and it would just be a random trap card that's really hard to search, so whatever. Malice is already doing way better stuff than this anyways. And then there are these 2 rank 3s. It's the MX Saber Invoker and the Wind-Up Carriers and Maity. They just are rank 3 that summons a 3 from your deck, and that's, oh boy, so scary. A rank 3 that's going to summon a 3 from your deck. Whatever. Trap Does Shoot. Everybody's really scared of this card because it rips from the hand, but they need to have 4 cards in their hand to activate it. So if they hand trap you twice, which is a common play, then I guess after they draw, they'll have 4 cards in their hand and you can get it. If they hand trap you 3 times, you're stopping your turn. This thing sucks. I don't know. I think this card could come back. We're already ripping a card with triple Tactics Talents, and it's on your turn, so you can get the information. You don't have to wait for the information and hope that, this is relevant. I think this could pretty easily come back. It might suck if you get trap dust shooted, but we used to play with a pointer, and a pointer was pretty good. People would play it. I think it could come back. I think a pointer could come back too. These are like trap cards that are relevant, and I don't know really why we're banning them. And then the last two are just cards that you would never ever want in your tournaments. Last turn and self-destruct button, or pull position, whatever this card is. No, it's last turn and pull and self-destruct. Basically, they just draw the game in a really dumb way and would make tournaments go forever, and that's dumb. And so for that reason, they should stay banned, but they're terrible cards, and no one's going to play them. All right, I hope you can pick up some of these cards in the Heart of the Cards tier to come play at the May 16th tournament at Gambits Games and Anime, Traditional League 2, 5:45 p.m., Friday, May 16th. Come out, get some cards from the Heart of the Cards tier, throw them in your deck. Probably get some cards in the best cards, and play them in some of the best decks too, because we're going to be playing some amazing decks at the tournament. All right, come on out. There's so many great prizes. There was just a prize boost.